braced for a battering. It was the south coast that felt the full force of winds that were a struggle to stand up in. The port of Dover forced to close as boats struggled to contend with giant waves. Wind speeds of 97 miles per hour registered on the Isle of Wight.
Weather like this is actually fairly common out in the Atlantic, and usually it disperses before it reaches the UK. However, in the case of Storm Ciara, this exceptional weather that we're experiencing is being caused by a low pressure system that's 4,000 miles wide and stretches from Florida to Scandinavia.
Few parts of the UK and Ireland escaped the storm's effects. Seats left empty at many of the big sporting fixtures, cancelled for public safety. Royal parks were closed for the same reason. The weather bad enough to keep the Queen from attending her regular Sunday church service.
It developed as a low over eastern America, and then it has just whistled away eastwards across the Atlantic, driven by a really strong jet stream. I think it was something like 265-mile-an-hour jet stream, so it's unusually strong. And behind Storm Ciara, there's much colder air as well, and even though the warnings will have sort of abated a little bit and it won't be as extreme or damaging perhaps, it'll still be really lively volatile air mass. There'll be lots of showers around. You can see there snow on the horizon as well.
Over 281,000 homes experienced power cuts. Those who ventured out were confronted with treacherous conditions on the roads. Thankfully, the driver of this car wasn't hurt. In Blackpool, firefighters had to rescue this driver who became stuck in floodwater. The Severn Bridge was forced to close over concerns it was too dangerous to cross. Trains in Manchester were cancelled because of flooding like this, while down south, rail operators had their own set of problems to contend with. But the perfect storm was a welcome guest for our renewable energy providers, with the wind gusts being the biggest provider of electricity for the UK today. Across the country, hundreds of domestic and international flights were cancelled. Frustrating, but few would fancy flying in this. Planes that did get off the ground faced a bumpy landing. But for one BA flight, records were broken overnight for the fastest ever supersonic New York to London crossing in less than 5 hours, as a passenger plane clocked up speeds of more than 80 miles per hour on the back of the jet stream. This was the noise that homeowners in Humberside woke up to, a precursor to this. With 123 flood warnings in place, defences were overwhelmed.
Basically, for me, it's like this is a lesson. Mother Nature is teaching us a lesson with the wind and the waves. You know.
To describe how you're finding the weather today, how you found your walk.
It's quite fun, yes.
Holding on to your sister.
Yeah, gotta hold on to her, mate. Oh.
While the worst is hopefully now over, the aftermath of Storm Ciara will take some time to clean up. Katie Spencer, Sky News.